My brokenness comes from many layers of family abuse. From the age of 9 until I got into my car to go to Fresno State at the age of 18. My grandfather had sexually abused me in every way, shape, and form that you could possibly imagine. My father was emotionally and verbally abusive from ever since I can remember until now. My whole life I had grown up being told that I was worthless, being shown that I was worthless, and I thought I was worthless. I had never been a part of a church. I had never really known Jesus. The only way that I had even been introduced to Jesus was the cross on my grandfather's neck when he was on top of me. So I never really understood what Jesus was like. When I was in high school, I attempted to commit suicide several times, and every single time I woke up the next morning after swallowing bottles and bottles of sleeping pills, waking up and asking myself, like, what the heck, why am I here? Why am I still here? I went on to college and I lived the typical college life. I lived in the dorms at Fresno State, made a whole bunch of friends, and started to love alcohol. I lived in the sorority house for a year and a half. When I moved out with my toxic boyfriend at the time, I ended up getting pregnant that year. That was my junior year of college. I had Kennedy when I was 21, not knowing what to do. I was super lost and just ended up going back home, going back to San Jose, and trying to raise my daughter the best I could as a single mom. I later married a man and started going through a divorce about a year after our wedding. And on top of that divorce, I had ended up going to court to put my abuser in jail, and that layered on top of my divorce and just everything about life, work, trying to be a great single mom, trying to put a future together for me. That just broke me, and that put me in so much darkness. I was consumed. I was completely and totally consumed by darkness. And I started abusing drugs. I was doing a lot of cocaine. I was drinking my life away. All of this after hours, because I was still a mom. I was still trying to be the best mom I could. For a year or so, as the whole trial was going on, this was my life, and I had to give an impact statement. And I remember dreading it. It was like that sick feeling in your stomach of gosh, I really don't want to do this, but I knew I had to. And that day will forever be viewed as the most amazing day of my life, because God showed up, and God showed up hard for me. He knew how dark and deep that depression was, and he sent 20 of my friends and family to literally stand behind me while I was at the podium, explaining all of the abuse and explaining how it has made me the person that I was that day. That is forever the picture of Jesus that I have in my life, or in my mind. He will show up with the people that love you, and he will love you hard, and he will make it so that everything else is gone. So I just surrendered and okay, God, wherever you want me to go, whatever you want me to do, this is it. You have it, you got it. I will go wherever you point me. And in May, he decided to point me to Fresno, back to Fresno. Pastor Jordan had played a testimony, and it was Gabby Nolan's testimony. And coming from a history of abuse, that obviously touched me, because Gabby's story is so hard. It hits me hard, and it hits me hard because it was a lot of the same feelings that I have been feeling all throughout my childhood and adulthood. But at the end, Jordan said, "We're gonna go get all the Gabbys." And it was the first time in my entire life that I had ever heard anyone want to go get the broken. And so for me, when he said, we're going to go get the Gabbies, it was definitely a correlation of like, that I belong here and this is like my other home. Once that was said, I was like all in. And that is why like I am so hardcore for Via now, because if you want more of me, then great, let's go get them. Wherever you want me to go, whatever you want me to do, Jesus, just tell me, like, I will do it, and I will do it wholeheartedly. God made me the way that I was supposed to be. He has walked with me through my journey. He has sobbed and he has wept with me, and he has done the same for you. If there's any, like, wondering of if you're supposed to be where you are, you're here for a reason. You are meant to be in this moment at this point in time, because that's the plan, and you're a part of the big plan. Yeah.